Hello and welcome to One to One. I am Otumba Hashimola Bodiusene, and I'm pleased to be joined by Adeola Fasuba, barrister, CEO of Oasis Organization. This follows an impressive 20-year career with the civil service. Adeola, also known as Lady D, is an advocate for women's empowerment, the disabled and young people. Oasis is a non-governmental organization which helps women with the history of abuse, as well as children and disabled people based in Nigeria, but also reaches out to the African diaspora more widely.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Right. You show more passion, not more in the area of legal business, but more in the area of NGO, where you busy yourself about how to help abused women, children that are now getting involved in gun and knife crimes and so on and so forth. And also, you are more concerned about the problem of buildings collapsing every day in Nigeria. So which one are you really is your main focus?
Well, you could call me multi-talented.
Yes, you are.
If I'm being modest. My law practice is doing fine. I run a practice called Sovereign Seal Chambers.
Okay.
So I've got people.
Is that based here or based, because I know
based-
you.
Yeah, I shuttle.
Yeah, you shuttle a lot,
I shuttle a lot. I've got people working there
Okay.
all the time. So I've got associates that work with me. Yes, I am passionate about young people. I'm passionate about women. I'm a woman. And people that are disabled, because I've experienced that, and I am to an extent. I've got issues. So I've gotten to understand how people feel. I'm compassionate about the feelings of others, the issues they go through on a daily basis. So that propels me and pushes me to want to help,
Right.
to support others also that might be going through what I might have gone through.
Yeah. And for me, this kind of engagement, it's not a one-man business. How much support can you tell us that you get from the community or from government?
At the moment, we're not getting any support from government yet because we've just not applied. And a lot of people find that almost unbelievable. I've been spending my own money because it's my passion.
How to finance this?
This to a great extent. Along the way, we've had people coming to support physically.
Okay.
I have
In terms of donations and...
donations, I think we had a cookout once at the church.
Okay.
And a few old ladies actually contributed £20, £10 food and all that was a cookout. But most of the things we've been doing ourselves. That's my husband and myself. As I said, I have a strong support network. I have trustees that are wonderful people. People that help me because it's me. They know it's my passion, and they become passionate about Oasis also. Someone like Sojourn Lawo, Irene Amawe. These are people that have stood by me, that have helped me strongly. Money-wise, we will apply for it. I'm sure.
Have you tried to apply to government? And if you have not, why not? Have you applied?
We at the beginning, it was just what I wanted to do. There's this stigma associated with NGOs. It's as if they're begging for money, they want to swindle the government or swindle somebody else. And usually that's the idea people have about NGOs and non-profits. So that kept me back from even bothering at all. But I know it's gotten to the point that the vision is bigger than me.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
so much work to do.
Because
Yes.
without funding,
Yeah,
it will obviously
will
affect your activities.
in fact, it has started doing that. So it's gotten to the point that, yes, we realize that we have to now. And we will get there. We're working on that.
Now, again, I also noticed that the issue of women, especially African women, coming to Europe, most of their destinations is either Spain, Italy, or Portugal. And 60% of all these women put together, they're just like so desperate. And when they get to some of these countries, the only one common work they can do is to become sex worker. What's your take on this?
It's sad because this terrible agents that come to Nigeria, come to Africa, and tell them that it's rosy on the other side. Tell them that when they get to Europe, they'll get them good jobs. and they tell them lies. There are also people that are not even agents, family members, that come to get these young girls from Nigeria. And when they get to Europe, obviously there are no jobs there. So at the end of the day, all they can revert to is selling their bodies. And at the moment also, the new thing that started happening is most of these girls are being killed off, or young people.
Some of those
boys.
ones, I understand, go to Libya or, or Saudi Arabia.
They actually go through Libya, hoping they can get to Europe through Libya. But most times they can't cross the sea. And in the process, they're held back in Libya, and they're being killed off and their organs harvested for people that want to buy organs for transplant and things like that.
Yeah, it is important also to say that people say prevention is better than cure. What can Nigerian government or what can people like you put in place to prevent our women, our ladies, or our girls live in Nigeria? Because that is the key, that is the departing point where they just want to leave the country. And what do you think can be done to prevent that?
A lot of work has been done concerning that, and there's still work going on. Whatclef does a lot of work. This was started by the vice president then, Abubakar Atiku's wife. NAPTIP, which is now a statutory body, looks after trafficking also. And there are organizations like ours also that give enlightenment campaigns, speak to women, go to the grassroots, speak to the young people also, and tell them you can stay in Nigeria and become someone if you work hard at what you're doing. You don't have to travel abroad in a nefarious manner. If you're going to end up traveling abroad one day, it will be in a proper manner where you wouldn't get yourself into trouble. So there's a lot of empowerment and enlightenment campaigns going on. We do that. We go to the grassroots to speak to them, and we hope that they will listen. Obviously, the political situation in Nigeria at the moment hasn't helped matters.
Exactly. I wanted to touch there. I want to talk about that because,
the economic situation also, people are suffering, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
People are finding things very hard. You find the civil servants haven't been paid for ages. I know of a few civil servants that haven't been paid in 6 months, 8 months. So, and they've got children to feed. They've got families to feed. They've got people dependent on them. So at the end of the day, some of the young people will just think, they'll just take their destinies into their hands and say, if they die, they died. Some will get across, some will not get across. And that's what makes them do these things in the first place.
Okay. Will you agree with me then that if we have a kind of a concerted effort, a synergy to deal with the causes of the problem than the symptom? Because for me, the symptoms is like people coming here.
Yeah.
The main causes of the problem lies with the how do we get government to do what they have to do? Because it looks like an average African government, like they are very busy doing their own business. It's an opportunity, and they also use the NGO kind of a thing to not to pursue the main area of service that government is supposed to render. I give you a very good example. NGO here, NGO there. As far as they are concerned, everybody is providing water, route for themselves. So government now. So what are you doing? What is your movement, your organization doing to get government to do? Because for me, that is prevention.
Yes, we get them engaged. We speak to them. But at the end of the day, if the government doesn't do it, we won't leave it. That's why NGOs spring up, because things need to be done. And if the government is not doing what they should do, we're not going to let the people suffer. Yeah. So we have to make an effort. Someone has to do something. And that's why you'll find NGOs springing up. You'll find Seraph talking all the time and complaining. You find civil bodies coming together to say, no, this has to stop. So we do try to get the government to do things, but...
Yeah, but for me, the result is very, very poor, because if I still see that 60% of people will say anywhere but Nigeria, anywhere but Nigeria, they are so desperate. If you look at the number of our people dying high seas, and then those ones that manage to get here, the first place of call is to look for the madams that will engage them. Even some of the men and young people are also into different kind of,
prostitution.
We have to take a break now, but when we're back with Adeola in a few minutes, join us then. Welcome back to One to One. I'm Otumba Hashim Olabode Oseni. I'm here talking to Adeola Fasuba, an advocate for women's empowerment and CEO for the Oasis organization. I must ask you, the family values. When did we lose it? Is it on our way here or when we're already here? Because to a great extent, we can trace some of this problem to family values.
Yes.
So when did we get?
Parents divorce or separate. And out of anger, sometimes the woman will not let the men see the children.
Okay.
Probably because the men are not providing. But because the man is not providing doesn't mean you should deny him seeing the children. But some men also don't even want to bother. The sad thing is they sever the relationship with the mothers and they sever the relationship with the children. It's just as if they've closed off that side of it. And these issues affect the children terribly. And that is why they would lash out. And sometimes some of these children hold it against their mothers, that if you hadn't separated from dad, this wouldn't happen. But it wouldn't be the mother's fault that dad found another woman and he went off. So these are all the issues that come in. But the cultural aspect, I think it's not anything one could really put one's finger on just like that. Also, when Africans, we have the attitude, or we were brought up to smack children. And over here...
But the smacking doesn't solve the problem, is it?
Well, smacking doesn't solve the problem.
No.
But because they don't understand that, it is what you know that you would want to practice. So now they're parenting classes. Hopefully Africans will attend. They're parenting classes that help you to understand that you don't have to smack that child. You can take away something that is of value for a while. It will have the same effect and probably a better effect than beating a child and ostracizing them.
Do you want to say something about the disconnection between, let's take example of it's only the mother that is left with the child or children, and well, we come to the father that is not there to support. But here we have a mother who does 3 or 4 jobs. She's hardly at home, and the only weekend she's at home, she wants to buy the latest attire or whatever and go to parties. So the disconnection here is so wide that there's no love, there's no, kind of a connection between the mother and the children. So don't you think that is also a big issue?
I don't think it's fair to say that at the weekend the woman just buys
most of them.
clothes. You're generalizing. I
am, as a most.
Some.
I say most of them,
I
because
wouldn't
you
say
just,
most.
you just need to go to the parties and you see.
Because you see women there doesn't mean that they go out every weekend.
Look, I'm a socialite, and I know exactly. I know I know the terrain, I know the system, I know how it works here. But again, I don't want to start using my own personal example. You understand? Because I know how much time my wife would dedicate to wanting to be with her daughter, and she wouldn't go to parties unless it's extremely. I know, unless it's extremely necessary. So let me take you back again. So
there are women like that out there.
But also. most of these women and most of these mothers, they go to work. Of course, I know they have to make ends meet, but they go to work, and then the only time, because most of the children will say, "Mom hasn't got time for it. I have not seen her since the last 2 days, and we live in the same house." So when they come home with different things they're not supposed to bring home, there's nobody there to inspect. Am I?
No. Well, I would say that the fact that they're doing 3 or 4 jobs is not for themselves. It's to help the children also. It's to provide for the children, because the man who is meant to help provide is not providing. So someone is doing the job of 2 people. That's why they're doing. Nobody wants to do 3 or 4 jobs. And then going to parties at the weekend. They are human beings. They should have a time to relax and be happy and be with other people also. So I don't think that should be held against the woman. What should happen is that men should stand up to the plate. They should take up their positions and support. So at the weekend, if the woman decides to go out to have some free time, some me time, the man can step in and look after the children.
And you just said that most of our men are like not allowed to come nearer because they have not been demand is maybe he's unemployed, he has not been giving money. The woman now wants to say, you cannot come to our house, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. You see, the point.
I think that's where we need to look at the divide and where the parenting classes are coming in. So education matters concerning this also.
Is your organization doing this?
We're trying, we're reaching out concerning that, and we will work hard on that now that you've really blown it up.
Yes.
Yes. Speaking to the men, making them understand that even if there's no money to provide, but there should be money, why should the man not work?
Yeah,
the Bible even says that a man that does not work should not eat.
I don't want to sit down here and start talking for the men who are unemployed or whatever, but the truth of the matter here is, and I'm speaking from experience, I know our culture.
Yeah.
You understand? You know, and I know sometimes...
So some men, I'm not knocking men because I know there's some very hard-working men out there doing everything for their children, and some of the women are not allowing them to see the children even though they're provided. But I also understand the fact that there are some men that are working and they don't want to provide even though they have the money. And the woman is having to do everything, every single thing. I know a particular family, this woman with her 3 children, she's been to hell and back. She's had to study full-time herself, look after the children, go to work full-time, 2 jobs. She was doing 2 jobs, one at night, one daytime, and she was studying full-time. And so looking after the children, all by herself. And thankfully, God has helped her with the children, but it's not everyone that is lucky that way. And the man is sitting down somewhere, crossing his legs, and now you can say, oh, my children are graduates.
I don't know about that. Now, you also show a lot of passion and interest in the problem that many Nigerians are having or facing. Their properties easily collapse like Dominion cards. What do you think is responsible?
The problem with that is we have substandard materials coming into the country. Collapsed building syndrome has become an issue in Nigeria that is a terrible menace at the moment. And it seems as if the regulatory bodies are doing nothing about it. Because of the time it takes for litigation to go through the courts. At times you could have a case going through for 10 years, 20 years. So people are not being penalized for what they're doing. We've had the case of the synagogue building till today. We've not heard...
Joshua.
TB Joshua, yes, it fell. We've not heard anything concerning that till today. The building in Akwa Ibom where the governor was a guest, the church building.
In the church, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, there's still been...
And many more in the north.
So many more, even in Lagos.
In Lagos, okay.
Buildings, there was this estate that fell apart in Lekki, and I know that... the
and nothing has been done about it?
Well, it's going through the courts because it takes so long. Which is why I would say with the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, they should take up arbitration and adjudication concerning that.
Okay. A very quick one. I know how much wealth of knowledge you have there. And last time I was asking you, why are you not participating in politics? Because you know one of the quickest and fastest vehicle is to be part of politics, to be, where they can hear you speaking louder. Why have you changed your mind? There are a huge number of women coming to the ring. Have you changed your mind?
I have got a lot of friends that are into politics.
I'm talking about you.
I support them. With myself, I'm looking into it because you keep on pushing me.
Yeah.
I'm looking into it. Although I like the idea of being on the other side, being able to be part of the pressure groups that pressurize the government to do something. Yes, as you say, it's good to come in there. But I found that most people get in there and they become lackadaisical. They relax. So I want things done. And I think my voice may be heard probably on the other side more. Then, because once you're part of the government, at times you just have to fall in line and just go with the flow. But as I said, I have quite a few people. There's Tokwe Fashua, who's from my alma mater.
Tokwe Fashua is one of the aspirants.
Yeah, he's one of the aspirants. And he's a young man that is really doing well. So I support people like that.
So you're supporting in this structure?
In every way we can, we support. I'm mentioning him now, so that is support also I've given him. I put his name out there. There are other people working out, the women. Yes, there's Eunice, a young lady that I like also.
I know one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Deola, I because of time has always been a problem on program like this. It's never a friend. We want to have all the time, but it's not possible. Now I want to thank you again for coming, for creating time, because I know you're extremely busy. I want to say thank you very much, and hopefully we're going to have an opportunity to engage you in some other issues that's affecting us. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much.